Welcome to Geekonomics, everybody. It's Mark, it's Bryon. We are back. It's another week. It's another show. It's another fun time for us to talk about everything that's going on in the world of nerd. How you doing, Bryon? How has your week been?
Hey, Mark, how's it going with you? I am doing
Fine, thank
good.
you.
It was a great week. I got lots to talk about. We got some news to cover, and we got What If episode 6 to talk about.
Yes, we do. We have so many things to talk about. And over the weekend, I found us a sponsor.
Yeah, prior to we starting the show, you told me this, and I said, "Can you just tell me who it is?" And you're like, "No." Then I'm
No.
like, "Are they paying us?" You
No,
said, "No."
they gave us stuff to have. And they're gonna we're gonna help them promote their stuff. They're trying to get into East of the River Comics and Collectible show. They were at Terrificon. They're going to be at Rhode Island Comic Con. And their stuff is right here. Hold on, let me grab it.
Did you give them Scott's info? I'm sure they can.
I did give them Scott's info. I gave them directly to Scott, and they're going to reach out to him, and they're going to set up a booth for Scott's show.
So
the name of the company.
They're not a sponsor. We're promoting them.
Well, they're a sponsor, as in they're going to
What are they going to do?
We're going to talk about it. We're going to give them. I need to get cards from you. We're going to give them more stuff at East of the River. We're going to give them like any kind of promotional stuff, and they'll promote the show at other cons that they're at, and we've gotten things to use that they gave us to have. So okay. The name of the company is called Fantasy Frames. I don't know if you've seen them at shows. If you haven't been to a show in a while, but
yeah, I've been.
What they do is they take pallets, and then they make frames for your comic books. So this one is the regular version, which is the $15 ungraded comic version. So it's just a regular frame, fits around your comic book. It comes in this nice case, and that came with a comic book in it because they had it displayed at they actually sponsored the race that I did this weekend. They were the main sponsor of the race. So what it is?
Oh yeah, I want to see it out of the case. I thought the plastic was part of it. I was like,
no, that's just the case they sell it in. They sell it in that case. I wanted to show it that way first before I took it out of its protective holder. So all you do is you take your comic, and this one's in a plastic little slide-in holder thing.
Yeah.
And then you take the comic, and then you just slide it, just like so, inside the frame, and then you can hang it up. And it's got the thingy on the back, so you can hang it up on your wall.
Nice.
And that's that regular version.
I like the wood.
Yeah, they do a nice job with that.
I think that wood would match my room down here.
Well, they do different types of stuff on the wood too. So you can, if it's a different color that you like, they do have that.
Yeah.
And then this is the graded version. Like if you have a CGC book.
Oh.
Which I had this one, I hadn't hung it up yet. So it's the Shang-Chi book, Master of Kung Fu. This actually was Jeremy Wise's dad's from his collection. And this is one of the books that they let me have from that. And it's signed by Ron Wilson, who is the artist of the book.
I'm sure that it has gone up in value since the movie. I'm
sure it has. I mean, it's not not like the first issue, but it's number 21, but still pretty cool anyways. It looks neat on the cover. So anyway, so this is the graded version, and all you do for this is it just slides, the book just slides right in the top and then sits inside the little frame. And it looks nicer on your wall than just like I have right now. I have a couple books just tacked up on the wall with those little contact strip things.
Yeah.
So Fantasy Frames. There's going to be a thing you'll be seeing it on the screen now. I haven't put it in yet because we do the show, record it, and then we put the stuff on it later. So there will be a thing saying
we're not live, Mark. We're not live.
Well, I'm just telling people so that way they see it on. So there will be info, and there will be a thing at the end of the show with info of them as well. So yeah, Fantasy Frames. You can check them out at the Crafty Toolbox, which is a shop in I believe Southington area. I'll get the actual information, put it up on the screen at the end of the show. But yeah, so they're gonna they gave us the one with the Batman book in it I told them your favorite was Batman, so they threw a Batman book in it, and that's for you.
Wow, awesome.
And then they gave me the one with a graded book because I told them I had a graded book I hadn't hung up yet. So yeah, so they're going to be at multiple shows. You can definitely find them at Rhode Island Comic Con. I know they're going to have a booth there, and they're working on getting a booth at East of the River.
That'd be
And
cool.
they're going to. It's all made in Connecticut. They make it themselves. They do the woodworking and everything themselves. So yeah, check them out. Fancy Frames. You can find them on Facebook and online as well.
I like it. It looks great.
Yeah, so that's our newest sponsor.
I like it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm like, I could hang some of that stuff up down here and it would match with that wood, you know?
Yeah, no, I've thought of you when I saw the smaller version, because I know you do that with albums. You hang albums up.
Yeah.
I know they're thinking of branching out to that as well, making those kind of frames as well. So, but yeah, they have a whole slew of different crafts at the Crafty Toolbox, which is the main store. It's a father-son that own the store, and they have all different crafters from around Connecticut, and they sell their wares at the Crafty Toolbox, and they are actually online as well. So
That's
put an online store up.
Does Crafty Toolbox have a store?
Yeah, they have a brick and mortar, which I believe is like in the Meriden area. I'm not sure exactly what the address is, top of my head, but yeah, check them out. They're on Facebook too, the Crafty Toolbox. You can find them, and they have a whole bunch of stuff. They have like books that are written by local authors, and they even have when they were at they set their booth up on Saturday for the race, because they were the main sponsor. They brought a couple tents and put up a booth there, and they had the 2 Rejects books, which Matt Ryan drew. And I was like, I know that stuff. So I took a picture of it, and I was going to send it to Matt Ryan, saying, hey, I'm at my race, and your stuff's being sold at my race. So yeah, they have all sorts of stuff. So I definitely, if you're into that kind of stuff, definitely check out their shop. I don't have their hours off the top of my head, but it'll all be on their Facebook page. And they're working on a digital store, having their own internet store as well. So
yeah.
Crafty Toolbox and Fantasy Frames is the main group that's helping us out. But yeah, check them all out.
Cool. Oh, looks great. Well, thanks, Mark.
No problem. See, I do stuff for the show.
You did it. Congratulations. You get a star. You get a fantasy frame.
Yeah, thank you.
No, it's awesome. Anything else? I'll continue with you, Mark. Anything else this week?
I started watching Why the Last Man. They released the first 3 episodes, which we talked about last week on the show. I got through 2 of them so far.
Good.
Kind of spread it out. I didn't want to get them all at once. So watch that.
Is it good?
It's good. It's good. It's really good. And like I said before the show, we were talking about it. I decided not to read the books until afterwards. I was going to try to read them all before I watched the show, but I couldn't wait. I was too excited to watch the show because I started seeing promos for it. I was like, oh, I gotta watch this. So I ended up watching the show, and I'm gonna wait till after I watch all the episodes and then see how far it gets in, and then read the books again afterwards.
I'm reversal. I'm gonna start reading those books.
That's why we get along so well.
Yeah, and then I'll watch the show.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you why when I start talking.
Yeah, because there's 11. I think there's 11 books.
Yeah.
Of the ones I have, like the graphic novel versions I have. And the other reason is I couldn't find them. So that's the other reason. I can't remember if they're here. I didn't find them at my house, so I think they're at my parents' house. And I stopped there for a minute and didn't see them right off the top of my head, so I decided not to. I don't think I sold them, because I wouldn't have sold them, but I don't know. Who knows? So yeah, they're somewhere. Or I gave them to you, and you just never gave them back because you're a jerk.
You never gave them to me.
Oh, okay. Solve that question. But Why Last Man, it's awesome. Check it out. I'm still watching C, which is really good. The Jason Momoa show. Didn't really get anything else new recently. So yeah, it's been that was all about it. That was basically Why the Last Man was the big show of the week so far. And What If, of course. Which
right. Which we'll talk about episode 6 near the end of the show. For me, so I picked up Sweet Tooth: The Return, and I was so wrong when I was reading up on it, because I was like, is this worth a read? You know, a lot of what's going on right now when a new show is being an old graphic novel is turned into a show, the original writer and artist will come back and they'll kind of do a 6 or 7 issue new arc, like The Boys did it. And it helped promote the Netflix or whatever show.
Yeah, it's the way to like get like the TV fans into the like people that want to see the show.
Right.
Be like,
Invincible did it too.
To kind of, you know.
So The Boys one was all right. It really didn't do anything for the overall story. It was just kind of like an epilogue almost. So
even Walking Dead did it. They did the Negan book.
Right.
Celebrate, you know.
So I was like, I read about it, and what I read was totally wrong. It was not a reimagining of what was happening in Sweet Tooth. I read it. I've read it in one sitting. It was really good. It actually takes place 3,000 years in the future.
Wow.
So if you know how the book ends, it makes total sense.
Yeah.
If you know how the book ends, when you read this, it kind of it has connecting tissue to that. Mm-hmm. It's a very concise story.
Uh-huh.
It almost ends where you're like, man, I want more. Maybe they'll come back and do more. It leaves it open for that. It was really good. I really enjoyed it. I think sometimes these are hit or miss because they're either just put out to promote, but I felt like this was a fully fledged great story.
Like a whole new story based off that same world.
It added to the mythos of what is Sweet Tooth.
Yeah.
The mythology. It added layers to it that we didn't have before. So, because I don't know why I did this. I'm gonna rewatch it today. I started episode 1 of Sweet Tooth on Netflix. Super excited. I decided to start watching it Saturday night after other things, and I was super tired.
So you fell asleep?
I fell asleep near the middle. So I got to redo it. From what I liked, from what I saw, I liked. They changed a lot. Like they expanded on some things. I thought Will Forte being the father was a great fit.
Yeah.
That is pretty much what the father does, what he does in the graphic novel.
Yeah.
They expanded on the virus thing, which is cool. So I can't really speak of it yet because I haven't finished the first episode.
Yeah, you haven't even saw Shep yet.
Jeopard?
Jeopard, you haven't even saw him yet.
It's funny because I know who's playing him, and during the virus they have a football game on, and you actually see him on screen.
Yeah.
So I haven't got to him yet. So I got right to when his father passes away, which is in the very beginning, at first half an hour, and I fell asleep. Yeah. Not because it was boring, because I was freaking tired.
Yes.
But so my plan is, now that I read The Return, I'm all caught up. I'm diving in this week. So next Monday or Tuesday when we do the show, I'll have a better grasp on the show. But I'm very excited to start watching it.
You should really start watching things at like 8:00 at night.
Well,
you pass out.
I know. Saturday night, we because one of my favorite late night SNL update host, Norm Macdonald, passed away.
Oh, I know. That's terrible.
I've been listening to a lot of old podcasts with him, and then me and Allison went down the rabbit hole of watching all these old Norm Macdonald clips on YouTube. And literally we started at 8:00, and I think it was almost 11 when we ended. We must watch like highlights, and then Conan O'Brien's when he was on Conan, all the OJ jokes. I mean, just some classic.
That's how he got fired.
Well, yeah. But the OJ jokes are freaking hilarious.
Oh, they were the best, yeah.
And that's kind of when I started watching SNL, when Norm was it was Neil McNeil. What am I thinking? Kevin Nealon. Kevin sucked. Kevin Nealon and Norm Macdonald were kind
Colin
of
Quinn after.
Colin Quinn took over after Norm Macdonald because he got
Okay.
fired. He
All
was
right.
kind of a fill-in for like a season and a half or something.
Yeah.
But those were kind of like my cast of SNL when I got into SNL. And I mean, Norm Macdonald was just a genius. He has a great YouTube channel that he started during quarantine. We end up watching it. It's really funny and insightful. But his first two videos is stand-up he did March of 2020. And this is right when everything shut down in April, but March was kind of like everything was happening.
Yeah.
So he got on stage and all he could talk about was COVID because it was on his mind. Yeah. And how the owner said, don't talk about COVID. Nobody wants to hear about COVID. And he goes, how could I not talk about COVID? I keep thinking about COVID. And then because he had cancer and nobody knew it, he was immune and compromised. So he was like, he in the middle of the set, he like steps back and he goes, I don't want to get close to you guys. He's like, sorry, I don't want to die. Like, and then he's like, you know, a week ago, we all didn't know how we would die, but now we know. It's freaking hilarious. But I mean, I definitely, you know, we're checking out his YouTube page. He does some great interviews with his cell phone, which are really old man like, really funny. But the two stand-up stuff he put up there was just really cool and funny. But it's a tragedy. No, you know, nobody knew he had cancer. He kind of kept it away from everybody. So I just we were just on a Norman kick. That's what we did Saturday night. And then on Sunday, Mark, I watched Spider-Man 2. And boy, does that movie still hold up. It's so fucking good. So
and like good. Stars is like hard promoting. Like on the Amazon Fire Stick, like that all weekend, it was like, watch the original Spider-Mans on Stars. I'm like, oh, dude, Stars.
Spider-Man 2. It brought me back to when we saw it with Robin. And I remember in the beginning when they're so close to kissing. Yeah. And I just remember Robin going, kiss him, kiss her. Like I remember her cheering them on. And it's such a great movie because it's so well balanced between the love, of him walking away from being Spider-Man, coming to terms that he has to admit to his aunt that he was the catalyst that killed Uncle Ben. Yeah. And he was kind of keeping everything in, and it was destroying him as Spider-Man because he couldn't perform. Yeah. He basically got impotent because he
had panic attacks.
Yeah. He basically had to come to terms with everything.
To go away. Yeah.
Yeah, he had to come to terms with his truth. He had to admit things. He had to be open. He had to be like, I love you, Mary Jane. I am Spider. You know, he had to say these things because it was bothering him. He had
to tell his friend that he killed his dad.
Well, he didn't tell him per se.
Well, he found out.
He found out when he gets kidnapped by Doc Ock. Yeah. And then he takes off his hood and it's Peter Parker. Yeah. And then he knows. Yeah. But man, it still holds up. It's so great. And there's a scene.
That was like the only like the downside of the add to the craziness that you're gonna experience this coming week with 3. Because not only did you have like Hobgoblin going on, they still had that going on. Then they brought in Venom and they brought in Sandman. So it's like you have 3 villains. It's like there's too many.
I feel like they could have got rid of Sandman.
They could have eliminated Sandman completely. There was no need for it.
There's no need for him, really. He doesn't really. I mean, I'm going to rewatch it and refresh.
He's like He's like a side villain, like a henchman that gets you to the big boss, kind of.
So there's a scene, Mark, when he's delivering pizzas in the very beginning, and he's on his moped, and a car gets right behind him and pushes him and smashes into his moped, and Peter Parker flips backwards behind it, and he lands. And when he lands, it's the same pose.
Superhero landing.
In the trailer where we see Tom Holland's
I knew you were going to do this. I knew you were going to start doing this.
Dude, I'm telling you, that is not that is going to be Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. I'm telling you.
So
I'm so convinced.
I don't know if you saw this. Andrew Garfield was on Jimmy Fallon, I think a couple weeks ago now.
I did. There was
promoting a
some sort
different
of
movie,
yeah.
and that came up like, oh, there's scenes in the Spider-Man trailer where his like stance isn't a Tom Holland stance. He
No,
looks more like
they were talking about Photoshop.
yeah.
They were saying they're saying something about a Photoshop or
Yeah, well, there's a Photoshop that it looks like they took Andrew Garfield's head off and put like Tom Holland's head on. But not only that, I was gonna say not only in that interview, but in other interviews, Andrew Garfield's been asked like, "Oh, we broke down the trailer, and the way that he's like moving is like the way you move as opposed to the way Tom Holland moves." And Andrew Garfield's like, "All right, you guys just need to like stop." It's like if I was gonna be in this movie, I would tell you. It's
No, you
like I
wouldn't.
don't care.
No, you wouldn't.
I know. So
And
it's
I
just
don't-
great
I
that
don't
everyone's
know
like, is it Tobey Maguire? Is it Andrew Garfield? Is it Tom Holland and these different things?
I don't know if it's going to be Andrew Garfield at all, but I do feel that the likenesses of Tobey Maguire or Andrew Garfield will appear, or they'll just be in their Spider-Man suits and you never really see them. I don't know.
I think it's going to be like
I think Tobey Maguire is going to show up.
Like I had said, I think it's going to be almost Quantum Leapish, where we'll see it as Tom Holland, but he'll look in like a mirror, and he'll be Andrew Garfield, or he'll be Tobey Maguire, and it'll be like the Quantum Leap scenario where he jumps into the bodies, but it's not really him.
Yeah. Listen, when I watch
or he
that
jumps
trailer,
into the place of those people, and like he takes like their
that body is Tobey Maguire, and his head looks too small. It looks like it was put on a different body.
Well, we'll find out in 3 short months.
I know. I'm very excited. But I have to say, rewatch Spider-Man 2. What an amazing movie.
I mean, it would make sense too, because that was during the Doc Ock part.
Yes.
Like, if you're gonna reveal Doc Ock as in the movie,
and Doc
and then
Ock,
Electro's in the movie.
Doc, we don't know.
So the 2 big villains of the movie, supposedly,
maybe,
kinda, or well, Jamie Foxx, like they've said, Jamie Foxx is in the movie. They just didn't show him in the movie.
I still also Doc Ock doesn't know who Tom Holland is.
Yeah, exactly.
He knows who Peter Parker. He knows Tobey Maguire Peter Parker, not Tom Holland Peter Parker. So why would he be saying Peter? Granted, that could be editing trickery. I think a lot of that trailer is editing trickery. So I don't think what we're seeing is we're getting a full picture, but it is worthy of digging into, I think.
Yeah.
Also, for some strange reason, my life, I've been having this weird, like early 2000s renaissance in my life. I don't know what it is, but I've just been doing like I'm watching the old Spider-Man movies. They all came out early 2000s. This
could be a midlife crisis. If you buy like a 2001 Saturn, then we'll know.
I know.
You're having a midlife crisis.
I'm obsessed with Grand Theft Auto San Andreas.
I want to like relive my time
in 2000s
as a community college student working at a pizza shop.
Well, it's the things. It's just the stuff that happened in pop culture that I've just been infatuated with.
I mean, if you call me up and ask me to go for a car ride and you're in a Saturn, I'll know that there's something going on.
Oh God. I've been obsessed with San Andreas. I've been playing that now. I'm almost done. I'm going to beat it for the first time. My Spider-Man rewatch, but also finally I've been itching to rewatch I Love the 80s, which came out in the early 2000s on VH1. YouTube has them. So all week I would watch 2 a night, and they did I Love the 80s 3D, I Love the 80s Strikes Back. I've been watching like every night, be like 81, next day 82. I'm up to 87, and Allison's watching them with me, and they're so much fun to watch. So it's like weird. It's like those came out in 2000s, but it's about the 80s. So it's kind of like the inception of like what's the word I'm looking for when you look back fondly on a decade?
Reminiscing.
I'm reminiscing about the 2000s, while reminiscing about the 80s as well, which is kind of cool. But I love the 80s. I can't wait to rewatch I Love the 90s. But someone put them all up on YouTube, which is fantastic. So I just been like, I don't know, it's just weird. Everything's kind of all at once. Also, we finished a rewatch of Friends, which ended in the 2000s, but we're starting a rewatch of Scrubs, which started in the early 2000s. Man, I miss that show so much. I listened to their podcast, which I love, and me and Allison finally just started, and it's like I forget how many sad episodes there are with someone dying and JD getting attached. Like we're getting up to the old lady episode.
That was our one of our final appearances of Brendan Fraser before he went into somewhat seclusion.
Yeah, Brendan Fraser in season 3 has
he passes away in the show.
Yes,
that's a big episode. That's a big episode.
I know.
Big group episodes.
But like man. So I'm just reliving in the early 2000s for some reason.
Yeah. That's Scrubs. That's on Hulu too, so that's good. It's easy to get.
Yeah.
I watched up to season, I think about that point, the Brendan Fraser episodes at one point when I did a rewatch recently during the beginnings of the pandemic, when I was just sitting at home when I wasn't even working. So
yeah, we're gonna go through it all. We'll probably watch the last season, which is the school
the ABC season.
Well, ABC owns the show, so it was.
Yeah, but originally it was on NBC.
It was on NBC up till like season 5,
7,
or whatever. But they did its final 2 seasons on ABC, and then they created the new class, which is like the last season, which they're barely in it, but it's about like the new
Franco's brother.
Yeah, Franco's brother's in it, and
the girl from Coupling, or no, not a Coupling.
Better Call Saul. She's in there.
She's in that. She was also in a show with Keenan's son that I used to love, and that got canceled.
Yeah, it's on. So I'll end up watching that just because. I mean, when it really ends, that's just like a bonus.
Yeah, it's like an extended cut, kind of.
Yeah. That's something. Anyway, that has been my week, Mark. I love the 2000s for some reason.
You love the 2000s?
I'm just in it.
2000s, I Love 2000s has an appearance by Enfield's own Last Good Night.
I know, and it's funny, I wonder if they ever continued out of the 2000s, because they went up to 2004 and we were still in the 2000s, and I'm like, I can't reminisce.
They did. I think they just stopped.
I'm like, you can't reminisce about something that happened 2 years ago. Come on.
Yeah. That was VH1 was just trying to cash in as much as possible on that stuff.
Well, they were like, we ran out. We did the 70s,
70s, and the 80s, the 90s,
90s. I mean, they did the 80s 2 or 3 times.
Like now would be a great time to do it. I love the 2000s.
Yes.
Like as you're saying, it's 20 years ago now. So
VH1, I don't even know what they do anymore. Like, I don't know what they air. If they just air reality shows or whatever.
I don't even know if it's even on anymore. I couldn't even.
Paramount Plus would be the place. I would get Paramount Plus if they did. If they brought back Michael Ian Black, they brought back Al Sparks, they brought back all the people who were part of it. Al Sparks. What did I say? Al
Sparks. That's his lesser known younger brother.
That's his brother, Al. Don't call me Al.
He really loves Chevy Chase.
You can call me Al. All right, Mark, I got news.
Okay.
So speaking of Spider-Man, this is interesting. A deleted picture of Tom Hardy was wearing a Spider-Man Nowhere Home hat that goes out to the crew.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a photo that Tom Hardy had posted, and he deleted it very quickly, of him smiling with a Spider-Man Nowhere Home hat, production hat. And the speculation is was he on the set? And if so, is Venom going to be cross-pollinating with the Spider-Man? Because Sony had come out and said they will be connected at some point. So will we get a Venom appearance at the end? Maybe a teaser after the credits, maybe a pre-credit thing. Will Tom Hardy's character himself show up somewhere, some way? Because Carnage comes out October 1st.
Yeah.
So if Carnage comes out and Spider-Man comes out later, and they're gonna mix it with Spider-Man, will this happen? Thoughts, Mark? Do you think that this production hat means anything? Holds any water?
I think it might. I think it'd be too late to throw into the end of Venom because it comes out like Friday. Next Friday.
What I'm saying is, will a Tom Hardy appearance happen
in the Spider-Man?
Maybe mid-credit or after credit, or maybe Tom Brock just shows up in the movie somehow, some way.
Tom
Hardy. What did I say?
Tom Brock.
I mixed Tom Hardy and Brock's names together.
Yeah.
Tom Brock.
Yeah, Tom Brock.
Well,
the new candy from Toblerone. The Tom Brock.
Tom Brokaw show up and do a Tom Brokaw show up.
I'm Tom Brokaw, and this is the news.
And later news, Tom
Hardy showed up in a Tommy Bahama shirt during the Spider-Man premiere.
Tommy Bahama. No, Will.
I think if they're going in the way of the rumored Sinister Six scenario for the Marvel side, like in a Marvel movie, then I would see it making sense to have him show up. And I think they're gonna have to some way. I think that I don't think you can do many more Venom only movies.
Yeah, we got to see how this one pans out with Carnage.
Yeah. I mean, if Carnage survives somehow,
if it does well, they'll do another one. Yeah.
But I mean, I think you got to head towards
Spider-Man.
Like they're making Venom the anti-hero right now, but in the Spider-Man universe, he's a villain.
He starts off as villain. He's actually a kind of a good guy in the comics now.
Yeah, well, now I'm saying, but in like general.
Yeah.
So I think if you're going like the opposite direction, like you'd have to have some way that something would have to happen that he would be mad at Spider-Man. So it'd have to be some kind of, or some impetus to bring him into the Spider-Verse.
Totally. Yeah.
Because right now there isn't any connection besides the fact that he worked for the Daily Bugle. They mentioned that in the first movie. Like he got fired from working. That was the whole thing, that he moved out west because she left him or something.
Yeah,
he was working for the Daily Bugle. He used to work for the Daily Bugle.
But Peter Parker doesn't work there yet.
Yeah,
he hasn't gotten there at all.
Yeah.
He's been in high school and in college. He's still in high school, I think, and now he's
still in high school. Yeah. So that's the thing is, I don't know like how that's gonna.
Yeah. I feel like there is some the speculation. I believe with this hat picture, he could have got it because he's part of the universe. But I also feel like if he was on set and they did do a stinger,
or someone just gave him a hat.
Yeah, but
people give me hats all the time for different things, and it's like I wear them. I don't, think about it.
I
free hat's a free hat.
It could have been because he's part of that family. He got one. But I feel like maybe he was on set for a stinger that's going to happen mid-credits, after credits, that could tie him into that world because they want to have that connective tissue. That's my guess. My guess is he might show up as Tom Brock. He might show up as Brock. What's his full name? I can't think.
I don't remember now. You've got me so confused. I can't remember it. I got Tom Brock in my head.
Why? I don't know why. Tom Brock. Tom Brokaw is going to show up. Is it what?
Tom Brokaw shows up. It's a good time.
Is it really Tom Brokaw?
It's not Tom Brokaw.
What is his name? People are yelling at you right now. Let's see. Venom. Brock. It is
something simple.
It's Alan Brock.
Eddie Brock.
Well, it says Edward Allen Eddie Brock.
Yeah, he goes by Eddie because he's always saying Eddie in the trailer.
Oh yeah, Eddie Brock. Okay, I feel like Eddie Brock could show up at a stinger. That's what I feel like.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
and they deleted the photo, which makes me to believe they didn't want that photo out there.
Yeah, or it's just a thing.
To make people speculate like me and
Yeah.
you. It could be, totally.
So Brian, going
yeah.
back to what you were talking about just a little bit earlier, I Love the 2000s. There are a total of 12 episodes.
What?
And the final installment of I Love the series and the sequel, I Love the New Millennium on VH1. Two episodes premiered each night from Tuesday through Saturday, corresponding to the years of 2000 through 2009.
What?
Premiered on June 17th, 2004, and ended on June 21st, 2014. Unlike previous I Love the series, I Love the 2000s did not use licensed music in its background, instead opting to use generic tracks.
Oh, the music made it.
There's the year 2000, 2001, 2002, 3, 4, and then 2005, 2006, 7, 8, 9.
Wow. So wait, but put a pin in what you just said for a second. You said they did 1 through 9, but it aired in 2004. So how did
2014?
Oh, okay.
2014.
That's what I figured. So wow. All right. Well, I have something to look forward to now. Once I finish the 90s.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. See, the music makes it though. They do so much licensing. You know, that's why VH1's lame now. Maybe because they don't show music videos anymore. I don't know.
Yeah. So going online and on the Reddit, you can't watch I Love the 2000s online anywhere.
Oh, that's a shame.
But there is like YouTubes you can watch.
Yeah, I'm sure people. Well, I'm watching it on YouTube.
Yeah.
I just searched it on YouTube, and someone did a whole playlist in order. Yeah. So it's a bootleg copy of it. You know, someone recorded it off their DVR or whatever, and posted it without commercials, which is great.
Yeah. So
I'm fine with it, and it looks old. It's 4:3. You know, it's shitty quality. It makes you feel like you're watching something in the 2000s.
Yeah.
Which I'm fine.
I don't know if there's I'm looking online. I'm not seeing anything that.
All right, let's not waste people's time. So. Let's not waste people's time.
So they did actually do them. Just you have to find them somehow.
Yeah, I'll find them.
Yeah. I mean, that'd be a boon for Paramount Plus to post all those.
Dude, I'm telling you, Paramount Plus was like, let's put them all up here.
Yeah, 70s, 80s, 90s, and the 2000s.
I would watch them all. It probably could be a music rights problem because they were rights to broadcast, not stream, and that's where a lot of things get dicey.
Yeah, especially with older things.
Yes. All right, I got more news, Mark.
Okay.
Let's not. My last bit of news: the Emmy winners were for last night. I did not watch it. I just didn't.
Neither did we saw the commercial for it during the Patriots game yesterday. To which I turned to Claire and go, I didn't know the Emmys were even on last night.
Me neither. I totally forgot.
To the which then Claire said, I didn't even know if I watched any of the shows that were even nominated.
Here, I was just like, okay, here are the people who are gonna win: The Crown, Ted Lasso, and something I don't watch. And guess what? The Crown and Ted Lasso swept, and a bunch of stuff. So real quickly, I'm gonna go through it, and there's an interesting category which I want to talk about. Drama series went to The Crown. Comedy series went to Ted Lasso. Limited series went to Queen's Gambit,
which is amazing.
Here, I gotta watch that. Here is the one I wanted to bring up: TV movie. They make TV movies still? Because I mean, I don't. Yeah, I had no idea.
They actually consider, I think, anything made on HBO or any of that stuff a TV movie.
I guess because Dolly Parton's Christmas on the Square won.
Yes.
Who knew, right?
Sure.
Lead actress went to The Crown. Lead actor went to The Crown. Lead actress in a comedy series went to Hacks. Lead actor in a comedy series went to Ted Lasso. Lead actress in a limited series went to Kate Winslet in Mayor of Easttown on HBO. Lead actor in a limited series went to Halston Edwin McGregor.
Ewan
Never heard of it.
McGregor.
Ewan McGregor. Supporting actress went to The Crown. Supporting actor went to The Crown. Supporting actor in a comedy went to Ted Lasso. Supporting actor went in a comedy series went to Ted Lasso. Supporting actress went to Mayor of Easttown. Supporting actor in a limited series went to Mayor of Easttown. See, guest
I never
actress
saw
was,
that Mayor of Easttown show, and I don't think I'm ever going to watch it.
it looked like a downer, and I'm not really in a downer mood.
Supporting actor went to Ted Lasso. That's yeah, he's awesome. The guy that Brett Goldstein, he's a great character in that.
Yeah, I still gotta watch it. Guest
Yeah, you gotta
actress.
get into that.
Yeah. Guest actress went to The Crown. Guest actor went to Lovecraft Country, which is kind of cool. And the last two, guest actress in a comedy series went to Maya Rudolph, SNL.
Yes.
And guest actor in a comedy series went to Dave Chappelle, SNL.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. But other than that, I'm glad I didn't watch it because I just don't give a shit about The Crown. I will never watch The Crown. I don't think against The Crown. Not
I watched
my
the
thing.
first couple seasons.
I don't know why we're obsessed with England royalty. They're not. Why are we? I don't
It's
care.
not the. It's the more the because I think it's just the story behind it because it's like it's so like in England you can't talk about it.
You can
You
talk
can't-
about it, but nobody
You
cares.
can't talk about it, and also you can't like you can't even show like I know they've mentioned on the John Oliver show which one best variety talk series and writing for a variety series. But they've talked about how they can't even show like in other countries they show the like parliament, like what happens in the parliament.
Yeah.
But in England you can't show it. It's like against the rules.
Yeah.
Television to show it. So I think it's just that's like the intrigue of it and just kind of like I don't know. I watched the first couple seasons and it was interesting. And I just watched it because Matt Smith was in it.
Yeah, he was. Yep.
Yeah, because he played the Queen's husband there. And what's her face who played the Queen originally was really good.
Well,
And then they changed it around and they like went newer.
well, they change the actresses and actors
Yeah.
when they get older.
Yeah.
Um,
So I haven't watched
but-
it. And also what's his face played Churchill, John Lithgow.
John Lithgow.
And he was amazing. So that was what got me into watching it. So I watched those first couple seasons, and then when it did the time jump, I didn't get it back into it again.
I mean, I give it props for having this, the quality holding up season to season.
And it's
But, I
also the only
mean-
thing that's keeping Netflix running. So
There's a lot of cool stuff on Netflix. Like we talk about Sweet Tooth is on there. There's a lot of good stuff.
I know it's very hit or it's very few and
but
far between at this point.
I
I've
don't-
actually toyed with the idea of dropping Netflix.
I mean, Netflix has enough stuff that it will keep me coming back, but I don't watch it constantly.
I don't like I used to. I used to go to Netflix and try to find someone to watch on Netflix, but now I don't anymore. I go other
Yeah.
places first, and then
Netflix
if I can't
is
find anything anywhere else,
yeah,
then it's like, all right, I'll go check Netflix and see what they got.
I'll still.
And it's
keep
like, oh,
Netflix.
murder shows, old TV shows I don't want to watch,
Yeah.
bad movies I don't care to
I mean,
watch.
He-Man, the second part of He-Man will be out. Then Stranger Things will be coming out. Like I'll still
Yeah.
keep Netflix, but it's my last thing I go to. You're right. I mean,
Yeah.
I go to HBO and Hulu first.
I went from the main thing to the last thing.
Um,
And HBO even's not like there's not much on there either. The HBO Max.
for me,
It's
I love
very-
HBO Max.
Like if you want to
everyone's
watch
different.
DC comic movies, that's about the only place you
Yeah,
can
but
see them.
HBO's got great original series.
Such as
Chernobyl. We just watched that.
well, that was like that was almost 2 years
fantastic.
ago now that came out.
I know, but they have great shows. They
If you
have a lot
like
of-
shows that aired 3 years ago that Brian now is just seeing for the first time, it's perfect for you.
I'm just saying, for me, my opinion, I'm an HBO Hulu guy, and then whatever, and then
Yeah.
then like you might be different. but I
Yeah.
mean, we can both agree that Netflix is kind of like the bottom of the barrel.
It went from being the main to the last resort.
Yeah.
For me, at least.
Yeah. I mean, everyone's
But
different.
speaking of
everybody
HBO
has
Max,
their own preferred
when is
thing.
isn't the Sopranos thing coming out soon?
Yeah. I mean, HBO has freaking new movies on there for free. I mean,
Yeah.
October 1st.
Ah,
Next week. I'm
man.
so excited. We're gonna that's the new Clint Eastwood movie dropped this weekend. I want to check out. That looks
Was
really
that on
good.
HBO? My dad was talking to me about that. He's like, I kind of want to see this.
It looks good. It's on HBO. I mean,
Okay.
HBO has like the best. Dune will be on there. Very excited for Dune. The Matrix will be on there. Very excited for the. I mean, I'm so happy I don't have to pay.
I think I'm still traumatized from the original Dune. I don't know about the new one.
It's gonna be so different.
Not like traumatized, like scared. Just traumatized is like the length of it.
It's gonna
Just
be
like
it's supposed to be a two-parter.
The depth of world building you have to get into.
The director said he made it so it's very accessible for anybody, but there's going to be a second part because he feels like this movie works as its own, but he wants to finish it with a second part, and then a third movie if they both do well, based off one of the other books. That would be great. Yeah,
Avatar, here we come.
Dune's very different than Avatar.
No, just that same kind of philosophy of all. Release the second one if the first one's good.
Well, I mean, I think that's a good philosophy rather than just saying I'm going to shit out 5 movies at once.
Yeah. Like, and then the other thing that's going on is I don't know if you know about this. If you're into the Dune, I know there's a lot of people that are into that, like John Francia probably. Apple TV Plus is releasing a mini series of Foundation, which is another in that same genre. It's basically I guess like the impetus in that world of what birthed like Dune and all these movies of that genre. Like Foundation was the first book series of that type, I guess.
I've never heard of it.
Yeah, I guess it's like the from what I've heard online looking around, it's like what Lord of the Rings is to like the fantasy genre. Like basically the start of all that genre. Like Foundation is the start of the sci-fi genre.
Gotcha. It's funny. I have not watched one thing in my Apple Plus app at all. Even though I'm in a free thing. I haven't watched a damn.
You gotta get into it. There's so many things like morning show. You and Allison would love that.
It looks so stupid.
Well, Steve Carell. I mean, it can't be
that bad. I watched the trailer and I'm like, oh, is this basically
the trailer's not good for it? I'll tell you that. The trailer. That's my next one after I get through the other stuff. It's like one of those shows. I'll get to it. I'm just not gonna like appointment watch it.
I'm sure it's good, but the trailer made me feel like it looked like it was Oscar bait. It was like, oh, they're making this just get Emmys because it looks so schmaltzy.
Yeah.
And it basically looked like they're telling the story of Matt Lauer.
Yeah.
Right. You have a guy who's on that thing. He gets fired for sexual harassment.
Yeah.
Jennifer Aniston's in there. It kind of looked like they were kind of ripping it from the headlines.
Kind of, yeah, maybe. Yeah. I don't know.
I know there's a second season.
Yeah, they just started. Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure it's great.
Yeah.
But I will get there. It's funny because I barely am scratching the surface of the shows that are on these other apps.
I know. I got to get through my. I got to get into it and try to get over my Reese Witherspoon issues.
Why?
I don't like Reese Witherspoon. I don't know why. I just don't like. I don't know.
Everyone doesn't like somebody.
Put her into that thing with like Drew Barrymore. I can't deal with Drew Barrymore.
I hate to say it. I don't like Angela Jolie at all. I think she's a horrible actress.
Oh, that too. Yeah, she's another
personal opinion. It makes me really not that interested in seeing the internals. I'm hoping she's barely in it, and I hope doesn't that come across as a sexist comment because it has nothing to do with her being a female. I just don't think
don't like her as a person. That's all.
No. As a person, I think she does a lot of good.
Yes, no, I'm just joking. I was just I felt the same way when I saw her pop up on screen, and her thing is she's always the same person.
Yeah. I just don't think
she's one of those actors that it's just that she doesn't have much depth to her.
In my opinion.
She doesn't embody like even like I don't know. I know probably. I mean, good thing Claire's not here. I will never watch this. But Girl Interrupted, I can't. I can't. I can't handle it.
Yeah.
There's just no depth of acting to her.
Yeah,
It's
I
always
don't.
just the same. Like
Yeah,
Tomb Raider, all those Lord, like it's just she doesn't.
she don't do it for me.
It's just Angelina Jolie. There's no
Yeah,
like.
yeah. And as a
I mean,
person,
opposite of
I think
other
she
actors,
does,
where like Paul Rudd is always just Paul Rudd, but he's amazing.
but he has charisma and he's
Yeah.
charming.
Her, on the other
And
hand,
she-
is just a blank slate. There's no.
Yeah. But let me finish my thought, Mark. As a person, I think she does a lot of great for the world with what she does
Yeah.
with all that stuff. She does charitable work. Fantastic.
Yeah.
As an actress, she's not my favorite.
It's
And
not your cup of tea.
I put her in the same category as Tom Cruise. I cannot watch a goddamn movie with him in it, even though if I'm slightly interested in, I think he's a horrible person. But on top of that, I think he's a bad actor. But that's just my opinion.
Yeah.
And I will never watch anything with Tom Cruise. The last thing I saw anything with Tom Cruise in it was Minority Report, which I really liked. I saw it twice in the theater.
Yeah.
I think it's a great movie. After
That's just
that,
a great story. That's what that is. That's a well put together story.
right. I
Report.
just think he's a big jackass, and I just
Yeah.
can't. I don't
mean-
want my money lining his pockets with Scientology,
Yeah.
so I don't go there.
Yeah.
But I mean, everyone's different. Some people don't like. So you don't like Reese Witherspoon. I mean,
And I don't even understand. I don't get the Reese Witherspoon thing. I just like. I don't know if it's just her bubbliness. It's off-putting to me.
She's not bubbly in everything. I mean,
Oh yeah, but even when she's not bubbly, she's like her face just always is bubbly. I don't know. I just can't like. I don't know. It's like one of those things. It's like she's just. I
that's
don't know.
fine.
I don't know what it is.
Like we said,
Irks me.
everybody's got somebody
She
you
irks
don't
me.
like in all.
That's like the nice way to say it. Like
There you
like
go.
people would say back in the day.
Yeah,
But I didn't like the person. I don't know. They just irk me.
they irk me. It
I
happens.
don't know why.
It's cool.
I mean, I don't dislike her as a person, just not like a fan of her. what she
Acting.
does.
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah, I'm sure she's a very, very nice lady.
Everybody listening or watching can probably all think of maybe one or two people in Hollywood
sure.
that
I'm sure.
they cringe at and they can't deal with.
Yeah.
And it happens.
Yeah. Like Megan Fox. I just can't. I don't understand it. I don't know why people are. I don't understand it. I don't get it.
I mean, she's a good looking person. She's got too much work done now. Her face is kind of.
I don't even understand. Like, I don't know. I don't know why she.
But I don't think she's a good actress either. I don't think she's
terrible actors. Terrible
Yeah,
actors.
I don't think she's a very good actress.
She just like I mean, when she was younger, I could understand it was like the beauty thing. She was like that, like even in Transformers, I didn't understand it. I don't understand it.
I thought she was hot looking in Transformers. That was the saving grace for that movie.
Yeah, I could have done that. There's so many better actresses that could have been that. In that.
Well, that movie sucked. So
Well, you
I
think
didn't
they all suck. So
that's the only movie I've ever seen for Transformers. I
I know.
tried to like it. I saw it 3 times, twice in the theater and once at home. And all 3 times I'm like, this movie's horrible.
yeah.
I tried to really like it.
Yeah.
I just couldn't do it. I gave it the benefit of the doubt. You
Yeah.
know? I don't know. Not my thing. All right, Mark. What if episode 6? I mean, this podcast
Yes.
we're approaching over an hour, but let's talk about that real quick. What did you think overall? This was the Killmonger to the rescue. This was
Yes.
actually kind of like, I'm like, wow, they gave this was
This
feel
reminded
like
me a
really
lot.
meaty what if.
Yeah, it reminded me very much like storytelling wise of Winter Soldier. Very espionageal,
Yeah,
like thriller kind of thing.
right.
Like everyone kind of figures out the plan as the story goes along, and as people figure it out, they get whacked, they get killed, they get taken out.
Yeah.
So that was the like thing I enjoyed. And then he's like playing the good guy to like the masses, but behind the scenes, he's the one that's the puppet master kind of. So I kind of like that part of the story. I enjoyed that. Yeah, it was really good. I like the whole stick of it. I like the whole thing of and watching again, like these what ifs. It's just they don't pull back any punches.
No.
I mean, and that's like the fun thing of doing it with the way they're doing it on a cartoon as opposed to like a live action.
Yeah.
Like they can continue killing the same characters over and over again and not like feel bad about it, kind of, you know. It's like, oh well, here's like the third time you've seen like Iron Man get killed.
And Black Panther. I mean, doesn't he kill
Yeah.
Black? Like the zombie episode, they were feeding him body parts, and
Yeah.
then now this episode, he
And this
gets
one,
killed.
he gets killed. But it's the third time we've seen Iron Man die.
Yeah, Iron Man gets killed.
Like
but
he
he's
got
not
killed
Iron
in
Man.
he got killed in the Avengers Hank Pym version. He died, and of course, as a zombie. He was a zombie in the zombie show.
Yeah.
And now he gets killed again because he figures out Killmonger is basically just, you know,
It was
puppet
Tony Stark
mastering
who
everybody.
died, though, not Iron Man. Iron Man never happened.
No, he never became Iron Man.
Yeah.
Iron Man never existed because of how this all went down.
Killmonger. It was kind of cool because you're putting in Killmonger because Killmonger technically existed for a long period of time because all these characters coincided with each other, but you just didn't see them. So this gave us a little bit more like if Killmonger actually showed up during that.
Well, if he was more in the universe as opposed to just in the Black Panther movie.
Right.
Like if his idea of taking things over didn't just affect Black Panther, but affected the whole universe.
Yeah, that's cool.
Like that's the thing that I enjoyed about it. And it's just another thing to like delve deeper into that character this way, as opposed to in Black Panther, everyone was like, oh, he was gone after one movie. You know, you don't get that depth of that character. Whereas in this one, you actually have to go into it more.
Yeah.
And see like his thought process and like his psyche and how he's like so messed up, you know.
I thought it was so
all
cool.
The stuff that happened to him.
The robots, right?
Yeah.
So he still creates robots.
Yeah.
So they have the robots invade
Gundams,
Wakanda.
basically. They're like Gundams.
I know they invade Wakanda.
Yeah.
And then when he shuts the shield,
yeah,
they lose all contact. And then now Killmonger's like, and he had a whole thing planned because I was like,
puppets them. Yeah,
it was great. I was like, there's no way they're going to defeat these robots.
Yeah.
But that was a great little twist.
Yeah.
Like, and then Pepper Potts and Happy are on, trying to figure it all out.
Yeah.
And Happy dies, right? Does Happy die? Yeah.
No.
Happy dies.
No.
Does he get shot at or something? Something happens?
I don't think so. Not in this one.
God. Okay.
Rhodey dies.
Yeah, Rhodey dies.
Kills Rhodey and he kills T'Challa. And then he kills Claw. And he kills Tony Stark. He doesn't kill Happy.
Okay. Because Happy and Pepper Potts are kind of like there's something going on.
Something going on here. Like, why is he so into this?
Yeah.
And then again, like the thing that when he like kills Tony, it's like he hits him in the shoulder.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know how that would kill him.
Well, it gets him in the shoulder.
Because it wasn't like in the your heart's in the middle of your body. Like if you got stabbed here, like in your shoulder, that would just like injure you.
Maybe he bled out. He bled out or something.
I don't know. It's like the way they did it. Like he pushed it in farther, and then like he just collapsed. So I don't know if that like would then like in the second half of this, because they never actually show like it's like him dead. They just kind of just see him like slump.
Whose funeral? Was it his?
Rhodey's
funeral?
Comes off the plane with the flag on.
Oh yeah. But then they have a photo of Tony Stark, a picture they hang up, so he's dead, right?
I guess.
You assume he's dead.
Yeah.
Or if they give us season 2, maybe it's a fake death.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Like they perceive it to be dead, so Killmonger thinks he's gone. But really, they're all in cahoots. Like Pepper Potts and Happy are like, okay, we're gonna have a fake funeral for you. People are gonna think you're dead, and we're gonna get to the bottom of this. Maybe.
Yeah.
That could be.
Yeah.
That was a great episode.
Yeah, which could be just like they did in the Endgame. Same thing. Faked his death.
Yeah. Yep.
So everyone thinks he's dead, so then he can go live in peace with his wife and his daughter.
Whose fake death wasn't that Nick Fury? Nick Fury had a fake
Nick
death.
Fury had a fake death.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe
It is the comic
that's
books.
happening.
It's the comic book movies. You can do anything in the comics.
You can do
People
anything, and this is
die
the part
and
too.
come back thousands of times.
Right. So what do we got? We got like 7 and 8 and 9. We have 3 more episodes. Right?
Yeah, 3 more.
Oh boy. And
Yeah.
then we don't have anything until like December or November, because Hawkeye starts in November.
Yeah, we have like a month off basically.
A month off
Yeah.
from reporting on Disney Plus shows.
Well, because then they'll have you have Doctor Strange. Doesn't that movie come out like next month?
Oh yeah. No, Spider-Man comes out before Christmas.
Oh, but Doctor Strange too.
That doesn't come out this year. That comes out next year. All we have is Eternals.
Eternals, that's what I'm thinking of.
That comes out in November, and Spider-Man comes out in December. Yeah.
That makes sense.
We go through this every week.
Well, because they're always like
Nothing's changed.
Everything's been moved so much that I can't
But
remember.
nothing has changed, Bart. Doctor Strange comes out like in March or May of next year.
Gotcha.
I think it's the beginning of the movie season.
Yeah, Eternals November 5th, Spider-Man December 17th, and then we have Doctor Strange is March of 2022.
There you go. Wow, March. That's early. Usually it's like at the beginning of May.
Well, then it gets crazy because then we got Thor is May 6th.
Oh, okay.
Black Panther is July 8th. The Marvels is November 11th.
Jesus. Oh my God.
And then Ant-Man and Quantum all next year. So 4 movies next year.
Holy crap.
Then Ant-Man is 2023 with Guardians. And then the next thing after that is Fantastic Four.
Yeah, wow.
And that's not including like all the different like anything else that might come up.
Yeah.
Albeit like we still have all the before the Marvels comes out next year, we have Miss Marvel on Disney Plus.
Yep.
And you have Ironheart, and you have Armor Wars, Secret Invasion.
Yeah.
It's all scheduled for next year, supposedly. So
well, wow, next year's gonna be busy.
yeah.
I'm hoping we'll be out of this better. Well, we'll be in a better place that we can go, we'll keep going to Agawam, giving them business and a better place that has better food and a better accommodations.
Yeah.
Instead of Cinemark, which blows. Can I have all the hair in my popcorn, please? Because I like to have hair in my popcorn during COVID times. All right, Mark. Well, that's been a show.
It's been a show.
Don't forget, October 31st, East of the River Comic Book Collectible Show. From 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. I will be there. Mark will be there. That way, whatever way. And I'm gonna have like I said, I'm gonna have like 200 new comics in my
man.
What I'll be selling. Tons of new stuff. So it should be a good time.
Yeah. Hopefully our good friends at Fantasy Frames will be there. I know they're trying to get into that show as well. So don't forget to check them out. Fantasy Frames on the Facebook and online.
I like it.
Pan the thing around here.
That's cool.
So check them out as well. And we'll see you all next week where we'll have episode 7 of What If. I have no idea what it's about, but we'll find out and we'll talk about it and a whole bunch of more stuff next week here on the podcast. Bye, everybody.